MoDOT groundbreaking ceremony kicked off the Forward 44 project this morning. A third lane will be added to the interstate between Highway 65 and Kansas Expressway in Springfield. 3 bridges will also be replaced, as well as other improvements. State lawmakers at the ceremony say that while there will be traffic backups, the safety improvements will be worth it.
My predecessor, Sonia Anderson, who works for Congressman Burleson, she lost her aunt just north of the intersection of 13 and 44. So Jeannie Rhodes is one person that I periodically, when I'm driving through that intersection, I'm thinking about. And then more recently, just a few thousand feet down 44, one of the most popular teachers at Hillcrest, a science teacher named Jen Bryant, also lost her life.
State lawmakers say the improvements will have a big economic impact as well. The project is scheduled to be finished by May of 2027.